Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. Gonna read through the full article pretty much. There's a link in the description. It is a tragedy. It does involve the death, the murder of a 15-month-old child. Their name is Zamiya Kelly. Zamiya Kelly. Hopefully my pronunciation's okay. I'm gonna guess that that's a girl's name. I'm not familiar with the name. Apologies if I've got that wrong. But a 15-month-old child, I believe a girl, Zamiya Kelly, has died after being exposed to narcotics. This is the scumbag babysitter that is responsible. Even if it was an accident, even if it was not intentional, and the police believe that it was not intentional, but regardless, she is charged. I nearly said guilty. I guess it's a little premature to say that, but she is charged with having exposed the 15-month-old child, Zamiya Kelly, to illegal narcotics, which has been the cause of Zamiya's death, 15-month-old. So this woman here, Pamela Graves, 59 years of age. She's from Georgia. I don't want to get too flippant because we got to be respectful, because this is an incredibly sad situation. But 59 years of age. 59. I mean, there are 89-year-olds, 99-year-olds that look better than Pamela Graves. And I'm not about attacking people for their looks, but this is her looks here. I mean, they have to be a result of ongoing drug abuse, surely. Why would anyone use this? I'm going to go there, drug-riddled cunt, to babysit their child. I've got to really question the parents for making that very, very poor decision. But we're going to go back to the article. Pamela Graves was taken into custody and charged with 1 count of felony murder and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance in connection with the baby's death. Emergency medical services personnel arrived at the premises June the 24th, 6 p.m. They responded to an emergency call about an unresponsive baby at a home in Oak Hill Drive. Again, this occurred in Georgia. Emergency medical services rushed the child to a local hospital, who was then subsequently transferred to a children's hospital. And police were not involved at the initial stages. It really was directed by the, I guess, paramedics, or certainly the emergency medical specialists and the medical staff involved. Now, once the child was at the children's hospital, staff at the children's hospital contacted the police to report that the baby had very troubling test results. She had tested, again, I believe Zamiya is a girl's name. She had tested positive to exposure to fentanyl, opiates, and benzodiazepine. The child was identified in the report as Zamiya Kelly, 15 months old, and she was pronounced dead later that day. A preliminary investigation determined that the toddler's cause of death was exposure to illegal narcotics. Pamela Graves, the 59-year-old scumbag babysitter, was babysitting at the time that Zamiya was exposed to the narcotics. Here's a quote from the lieutenant in charge of the case. The investigation indicates that the scumbag babysitter possessed illegal narcotics in the presence of the child, which resulted in the exposure. It is not believed that the child was intentionally given the drugs. However, details as to how exactly the child was exposed to the illegal narcotics are still under investigation. The scumbag babysitter was arrested and charged on Monday. There is an autopsy which is ongoing, but seemingly even the preliminary tests were enough to dictate or to determine, to conclude the cause of Zamiya's death, or rather the excessive exposure to the drugs, fentanyl, opiates, and benzodiazepine. That's pretty much all that we know at this point in time. What can I say at this point? So, of course, full condolences to the family concerned. However, I really have to shake my head. I'm sorry, guys. I don't wish to be offensive. I don't wish to speak ill of parents that have just lost a 15-month-old child. But I do have to express my opinion. And I think if we're going to try to, as a society, if we're going to make better decisions, we need to be honest. And my honest feeling is the parents, I'm assuming there are at least two parents, the parent or parents, the guardians of this child, really ought not to have put their child in the care of this babysitter here. Come on, guys. She's 59 years of age. I don't want to go, I don't want to try to make light of this. I don't want to, I'm not about attacking people's appearance. That's not what I'm about. I don't like that. It's a form of bullying. I'm not about that, but I am mentioning her appearance because her appearance is such. Her appearance is an absolute representation of the health of her body and mind. And the health of her body and mind we can see with our own two eyes. We don't need to be medical examiners. We don't need to be doctors. We can see that she is not well. We can see that she is a 59-year-old that looks like, a 99-year-old, a 109-year-old. And this is 100% due to drug abuse. How do I know that? Well, I don't know categorically. I'm guessing. It's an educated guess. I'm almost certainly right. I mean, if we just allow ourselves to apply common sense, we can see that she's riddled with drug abuse. She's abused drugs for decades. Why would you put your child in the care of such a person? The parent, the guardian, the parents, the guardians should not have done that. They are, I hate to say this, but they are culpable to some extent. To a low extent. I want them to move on. I don't want them to beat themselves up all the time. I hope they don't hear my comments. But, I want you guys to hear my comments. Because as a society, we have to wake people up. If you had a family member or a friend that was using somebody who's clearly a drug addict as a babysitter, then you're morally obliged to say to that friend, to say to that family member, hey, you fucking moron, what the fuck are you doing? It's your baby, it's your child, it's your children. You can't put their health and well-being in the hands of a drug addict or a mentally insane person or a felon. You've got to apply some level of common sense and be responsible. And if that means that you have to, the parent, the guardian, has to say, you know what, I can't find any other babysitter and I'm not going to leave my child with somebody who's clearly incapable of looking after themselves. So I will have to take the baby with me. I will have to stay home with the baby. Yeah, I will have to sacrifice the opportunity to go out and do whatever it is I was going to go out and do. Yeah, you're going to have to take it on the chin, bite the bullet, whatever it happens to be. But, if you are a parent, if you are a guardian and you throw the dice and you risk it, you risk putting your children in harm's way under the care of somebody who's clearly reckless, clearly incapable, then you run the risk of severe harm or indeed death occurring. And that's what happened in this case. To me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel that the parents or the guardians are at least in some way culpable. I'm not suggesting that they ought to be punished for that, although I suppose logically they ought to be. But I wouldn't suggest that because I've got a heart and I can, they're going to be destroyed as it is. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe if they have other children, and these are the decisions that that parent has shown that they make, perhaps CPS needs to get involved, and perhaps in an investigation in regards to the potentially removing the other children from the parents or the guardians. I don't know, man. I'm not a fucking asshole. I'm not trying to fucking cause problems and criticize people for the sake of it. I'm just trying to say, hey, look, there's a big fucking problem here, and I think it's pretty easy to see that this could have easily been avoided. Here's how you avoid this situation. Don't use this drug addict as a babysitter. That's all that needed to have happened. That's it. Very simple. Not complicated. Common sense. Ought to have happened, didn't happen. So you got to look at that. Otherwise, these things will carry on repeating themselves. Anyway, guys, I didn't expect to go on a rant. I have. Please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Take care. Gonna make some more videos. I'm sticking around. And sometimes I get a lot of subs and a lot of comments and a lot of likes and a lot of views, and other times I don't. And I guess it's kind of tempting to give up, but I'm not going to. I'm sticking around.